Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to YAHAWAH, Bashim, YAHAWASHI, Bashim, YAHAWADAH. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and Aquat out there who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. Today's topic, I'm going to talk about, Kendrick Lamar, right quick, because I saw this video. I thought it was a very, the way he did explain it well, but I thought there was a few things I wanted to mention, from a different perspective. Okay, so basically the whole Kendrick Lamar thing is Kendrick. Okay, he made a song called Yah. He said, one of the lyrics says, "I'm an Israelite. Don't call me black no more. That word is only a color and facts no more." Basically acknowledging that he's an Israelite, as well as he's not the race of a color. All right. Now, in addition to that, recently he made a song called Auntie Diaries, and in it he says, "The day I chose humanity over religion, the family got closer. It was all forgiven." So basically, in that he's saying he chose humanity over religion. One thing I don't like to say is I don't like to use humanity as a synonym or in reference to carnality or Babylon or whatever like that, or the world, because honestly Babylon is very inhumane. But in the sake of this context, this is carnality, and religion represents the truth, which this is not a religion. This is the culture of the Hebrew Israelites. All right. Now, humanity over let me get rid of this. Humanity over religion. Okay. And the family got closer. It's basically, he's saying that he chose his people, his family, okay, over this truth. Okay, but in actuality, this truth was always intended to divide us. Okay. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. Slakia. Luke chapter 12 verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So basically, that's the whole. It's supposed to break apart families, or slash. A family isn't going to be It's supposed to say, oh, we have different ideologies. I don't really mess with you anymore. Or if you want, which is sometimes an option. There's nothing wrong with doing this. It's the whole. Okay, you know what? We disagree. We have different, I guess, ideology. We'll still be cool or whatever for now. I'm in captivity. We're in captivity. Let's not cause a feud between us. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you compromise your beliefs and fall in line and do all right, or do whatever they do. All right, it just you disagree and leave it at that. So yeah, for Kendrick, he went through that same thing, which is something that brothers in this truth, I hear brothers in this truth have to go through. They're the only ones in their family that's in this truth. Might be eating pork or doing whatever, and then you just it's just hard because they're making it harder for you, because you sometimes if they made pork or whatever, then you can't eat that. All right, but or if they're celebrating Christmas or whatever, and you don't want to you don't want to take part, but they may try to force you to do it. Challenge, all right. But for Kendrick, surprisingly, I guess he went through the same thing, and for him, it's more. I would imagine or envision the fact that he, being, rich and famous, he's like, he more so wants to be. Okay, so that's because other brothers, a lot of times, we Israel in general, we're in poverty, so we don't really have the choice. But for Kendrick, he does have a choice. He has money, so for him to choose them when he has money, that's it just kind of more so shows and displays like he doesn't really have an excuse. All right, but this is supposed to cause division. And in addition to that, look at the words that he chose. He said he chose humanity over religion, meaning that he consciously thought, okay, you know what? There's two different paths. There's the path of humanity or carnality. If you really want to call it, if you call it what it is, carnality, and the truth, spirituality. All right. So he said, okay, you know what? I don't really mess with being a spiritual person. I don't really mess with the Most High like that. I'm gonna choose carnality. Ultimately, that's what it is. Okay. Now, that's a very sad thing to hear, because that if you of that, like, that's really, it's not a wise decision. All right. Now let me get this. Matthew 10 verse shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Okay, so if Kendrick is denying this truth, he's denying YAHAWASHI. All right, YAHAWASHI will also deny him. Like, he basically, like, oh yeah, this Kendrick Lamar. Slakia, Kendrick Lamar. Oh no, I don't know him. I don't know him. Oh, let me get that. Okay, perfect. Matthew 7, verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father. In that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Okay, so again, even more so, showing that YAHAWASHI doesn't know people like Kendrick, people that choose. He literally said, okay, I'm not even trying to extract something. Okay, it's very near. It's very clear as day. He said, I chose humanity over religion. Okay, he knows the truth. He knows he's an Israelite, but he abandoned that in order to say with his family. Okay, it's very clear. Okay, whereas also he doesn't stand for everything that YAHAWASHI stood for, everything that YAHAWASHI preached and teached. All right, he taught, Slakia, preached and taught. All right, that's where the divide, the division, the disconnect, the being unclaimed by YAHAWASHI, okay, comes in. Okay, because YAHAWASHI is going to say he never knew Kendrick. Okay, he's working Kendrick is working iniquity by being pro Babylon. All right, and okay, 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So, firstly, the trials and tribulation that we're going through right now is called a light affliction, and but for a moment. Okay, meaning small. This is okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, this affliction is called 1, as well as it's lasting for like a second, metaphorically. Okay, because after we go through all this, we're going to have, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are we going to have it? It's going to be, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's going to be 100,000. On a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how long, it's going to be eternal. Okay, 100,000, a million, whatever. All right, that's basically the comparison on the scale of 1 to 10. And that's literally the parallel, the metaphor. Okay, and for this is not even just about Kendrick. This is about anyone in general, because for you to think and say, hey, you know what, I don't like having to wait. Oh, let me get that as well. Matthew 24 verse 48. But and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in that day for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So, firstly, you're an evil servant if you say in your heart, my Lord delayeth his coming. So if you're saying, oh, YAHAWASHI is taking too long, oh, he's not going to come, anytime soon or anything like that, you're called an evil servant. That's number one. Number two, if you choose to eat and drink with the drunken, okay, the Babylonians are drunken, and you choose, I want to go back into the world. I want to enjoy myself. I want to enjoy life. This is my heaven, and whatnot. That's eating and drinking with the drunken. All right, and then on top of that, you beginning to smite your fellow servants. Okay, basically, as you were a part of this truth, and then there was also those amongst you, your quote unquote peers. All right, and then you say whatnot. You say such and such. You're wasting your time and all that stuff like that. Live life, blah blah. Be YOLO and whatever. Basically, acting like a damn demon. Okay, that's another thing. That's shows that you are wicked. All right. And then it says in verse 50 that the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him. So when you least expect it, YAHAWASHI is going to return, and in an hour when you are not aware. Okay, and then cut you asunder and appoint you your portions with the hypocrites. So basically, you're going to, if you choose to leave this truth and you just give up on what you're supposed to strive for perfection, being in this truth, do this work, okay, then you're going to end up with all those other heathens and be destroyed. All right, with all the Babylonians and be destroyed. And there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. You're going to be crying. You're going to be like, grinding your teeth. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, grinding your teeth. Like it's like you're so mad. And I don't know. There's, if you're an Israelite, all right, you know how, those kids are when they get mad. They get mad and sad and they're crying and whatnot. That's basically how you're going to be like. All right. but yeah, that's also leads me to Slucky, another precept, Matthew 6:19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through with steal. So you choosing to, live your life here in Babylon, you're laying up treasures for yourself on earth, carnal treasures that are temporal and will soon go away. Okay, but if you lay up treasures for yourself and have working hours in a spiritual job rather than a physical, rather than putting more hours into your physical job, because yes, we do have to work physically. You have to live. You have to get money to live and whatnot, but working more so on the physical is where wealth, but it's going to be temporal wealth. Whereas if you work spiritually, you're going to have that permanent wealth, okay, which is also, again, as we read in 2 Corinthians 4:17, it's going to be of eternal glory for you to enjoy the kingdom of heaven. It's going to be worth more. Whereas if you were rich and famous like Bill Gates or whatever rich person you can mention, it's still going to be better, and you're going to be richer than them. All right. Now, the Philippians in chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence alone, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So, those working for you, you need to work out. Okay, number one, and not just in the presence of your Lord, of our Lord, but also in his absence, which is he's absent right now. Okay, so that's why we still have to be fearful of our Lord and messing up. Okay, because if you remember the what's it called, the parable on the 3 servants, the one servant was given 5 talents, another servant 2 talents, another servant 1 talent, all according to what they were able to do, what they were capable of. All right. Aren't able to do much, if you aren't able to do much, then the Lord's going to give you less to do. But when you're able to do a lot, and you do all that you're able to do, then that your reward is going to be that much more. Okay, because just because you think what was I gonna go and get into just because you were only assigned one thing, whereas someone else was assigned 5 things, you're not gonna get an equal thing. You have to work towards everything. Okay. For a good example, because I did a video on this before, was say for example, let me get that actually. All right, John 14:2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were so, I would have told you I go to prepare a place for you. So now, basically, if you magnify that and understand that in our Father's house, okay, in YAHAWASHI's house, there are many mansions. It's like again. It says in his Father's house. Okay, so now we all know that a mansion is bigger than a house, but he doesn't say mansion. He said in his house. Okay, so there are many mansions. So how do you fit multiple mansions in a house? How do you fit many things that are bigger than something inside of something? The answer to that is basically the fact that the reward, the the world is not world, but the universe is very vast. So say if you were working, if for example, a brother that has 5 talents, that was given 5 talents, okay, he might be given a galaxy. And then the brother that was given 2 talents might be given a planet. And then the brother that was given 1 talent might just be given a mansion or a large patch of land. Okay, so and this is just this is how things are. This is how things are, and we need to work towards achieving that. Okay, because imagine having a whole planet to yourself, and then even more, a whole galaxy. Okay, like it's a very crazy. And then for someone that chooses to abandon that, like, that's stupid. That's honestly just point blank stupid, for you to just abandon the potential of a planet, a galaxy, solar system, whatever, over abandoning that to get, I want to get a mansion, I want everyone to know my name and whatnot, fame and stuff like that. That's, or okay, when you can have more. All right. Now, John 15:19, if ye were of the world would love his own, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. So again, it goes back into Kendrick choosing the world over religion. Family got closer, it was all forgiven. So he chose the world, honestly, and the world didn't like him, but then now the world loves him. Well, honestly, I'm pretty sure he was still loved, and also, ultimately that also leads me to believe that I don't think he was actually ever like really fully into this truth. And that's me speaking as a man. Honestly, I don't know. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. But in my personal opinion, I don't see any celebrity in this truth. I don't think any celebrity that says they're an Israelite, they're not in this truth. And that's just me speaking as a man. I don't know them personally or anything like that. All right, but that's oftenly shown and proven by their behaviors. Okay, because what's it called? Number one, Kendrick. Okay, I don't really think that they showed anything other than he spoke to a camp, and that was it. And then you have Brandon T. Jackson. He spoke to Sakari, and another thing is the fact that Brandon T. Jackson, he's trying to get people to just come together when that's not his job. Okay, but yeah, I don't want to get too much into that. That's for another video, which other brothers have already done, and that's just me. That's just me stating how these celebrities are not really in this truth. And that's just me speaking as a man. All right, now, 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So, if you how can you even love this world with how wicked it is, how evil it is, how horrible life is for not even just the Israelites but other heathens? Okay, if you hear about all these countries in outside of North America, like they have to go through some shit. Okay, honestly, it's just really wrong. It's just very terrible. This is not a world that we can love. All right, but once again, he just chose the world. He chose the satisfaction of whatever he can get in this world over the multiplier of whatever he would have gotten in the kingdom. All right. Now John 8:44, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your fathers ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. And when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar. Now, quick precept before I actually get into it. Romans 9:6, not as though the word of Yahweh hath taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So a lot of times, like I said, I don't really. Celebrities are actually Israelites. Okay, so they could be claiming Israelites, but ultimately, it might just be to bring down the name or the reputation of Israelites, as well as maybe they were actual Israelites, just abandoned it. Which that's probably the case for Kendrick. Maybe he was sincere at one point, and then he just left. All right, so not all Israelites are going to be Israel, and they are actually doing their own lust as the spiritual demon, as well as the physical demon Satan. Okay, they're of the devil, and that's ultimately what it comes to. If you are wicked and you think in your mind, I don't like the stuff that we have to do. I just want to go enjoy myself. I want to go sleep with a bunch of women, do X, Y, and Z, smoke and whatnot. Like that's you doing your own lust, because you know that it's wrong. You know that the Most High does not approve of it. You know you have to repent, but you choose to keep on doing it because it feels right with you. All right, or it satisfies you. All right? Where you gotta look out for yourself, because you don't want to be next. All right. And with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWADAH. Double honors to the elders and Apostle Great Millstone. And with that, I want to say Shalom.